a lot of times in life, we don't have that many choices. We're restricted by money, we're restricted by availability, and so we are stuck in a certain place, a certain lifestyle. But what I've learned as I've gotten older is that even if you have the money, even if there is availability to do something different, what we choose and how we choose to live creates a lifestyle. Like, say you have money to have 5 kids and a 5 bedroom house. Okay. You are responsibly thinking about it. You have the resources, you have the availability, but do you like the lifestyle? You know, when I first started to look at alternative ways to get cheap housing, and then I started to look at RV life, people who live in RVs, and you find anywhere from people living in their cars and vans to people living in a couple $100,000 RVs. And, after looking at the money and then beyond the money, and then living the mobile lifestyle and having 15 years experience living in my own house, I realized beyond the money, if you took the money away, it's a completely different lifestyle. I've been debating tonight and the past few days, as I often do when I get to Florida, am I ready for a home base? And one of the big things I debate with that is I'm going to, beyond the money, and money's a part of the decision, but beyond that is a lifestyle change. And in one sense, I really do like the mobile lifestyle, the non-attached, no HOA, no utilities, no utility bills. Just not just the bill, because if I do the math, I could probably save money if I stayed stationary and disciplined to a budget. But there's a different lifestyle going in Starbucks, okay, and getting free napkins, free water, paying for your coffee, and having the coffee made, versus making your own coffee, buying a coffee filter at Publix, grounding up the beans yourself. Stretch, good to see you on the live chat, brother. Sorry about that. Love to you, Stretch, aka Terry. Terry's living in his vehicle too. Okay, working 2 jobs. Okay. People who work and people who don't work, different lifestyles. Okay. I know people who don't work. Do I hang out with them? Do I associate with them? No. I don't like that lifestyle. Unless you are financially independent and, or you're retired or you got something else going on. But I don't know. For me, I'm not worried about other people. Okay. I'm worried about expressing to you tonight, okay, that decisions you make beyond the money create a whole different life. Okay. I'm living a whole different life than I was 4 years ago. And now I'm debating, okay, as a nomad, as someone who lives a lifestyle on the road, and you can apply this to any lifestyle change, is now I'm debating if the money's a non-factor. Meaning that if I lived a conforming life in a cheap house, which was one of my initial goals, to sell my house, to cut my living expenses half and be in Florida. If I do that, and let's say the money's a wash, okay, because I think I probably spent $1,000 to $1,500 per month on average living in my car without any major expenses. I've shared it off and I'll share it again. I think I get my housing, I keep my stuff way below that. My budget would be just about the same. I'd have more liability a little bit more entanglement, but my budget would be about the same. There'd be an upfront cost, that's true. But I'm trying to envision that lifestyle again. I'm trying to envision like being in, my home base and making my own coffee and sitting on a lazy boy and watching TV or playing with my laptop. um, having interactions with my neighbors, seeing the same people every day, and them knowing my name and vice versa. Dealing with the HOA, dealing with property taxes, dealing with utility bills. Just the whole thing, the whole difference. Probably making my meals more at home than eating out. Probably a level of my mind would not be liberated. Because I think the conforming life, while it provides the comfort and stability that I don't have, and there's value to that, my biggest concern at this point in my journey is if I get sick or hurt. I don't have the stability and the sanctuary of, a home base. Now, look, bottom line is I can rent a place. I can Airbnb, I can go to a hotel, and whenever I would recover, I can get out. So, I don't know, I think I was thinking too, before I went live, there's a condom brand called Lifestyle brand condoms. When you have a baby, like I say, your whole life changes. It's a lifestyle change. You get to a certain point, let's say you're financially independent, let's say you're healthy, God willing, take care of yourself well. Your health is your number one thing, guys. Take care of it. You have decisions to make regarding the way you want your day in, day out routines to go. Okay. Because every decision creates part of a routine. And a routine is your life. Okay. Your life is nothing but a series of days. I know in our mind, we think like if we do this one thing, like we're set for life or whatever, or now we can guarantee the future. But, really what you kind of do is you create a routine that it will get broken up. You will have a storm. You think you won't have a storm in South Florida chase you out of Florida or break your house. You think you won't have a snowstorm in New Jersey. You think Cameron, won't get pulled over with an escort. You think Tony won't have to deal, with Canadian freezing weather. There's things that break up your routine, but beyond those things that you can't control, you can control your life. With regards to how you structure your day in, day out behavior and how one decision creates a series of decisions. Like Cameron often talks about, he likes to escorts. That's a lifestyle. It's way different getting a blowjob from an escort versus dating someone and getting a blowjob. It's a whole different lifestyle. Some people laugh, say, you crazy. No, I'm serious. It's a lifestyle. And as I always tell Cameron, do you? Look, you pay for it either way. All of us pay, financially and emotionally for every relationship. But, I just tell them, be careful because you're in the underworld. You're doing illegal activities. While they may be harmless, they're underworld. Even me. Like sometimes when I'm stealth camping, right? I have to be conscious of that's a lifestyle. Now, it's not, to me, as dangerous as certain things, but it's something to consider. Okay. I like a simple life. To focus, what I want to say is I like things as simple as possible, especially as I get older. So I try to figure out in a complicated world sometimes, how can I keep my life simple at the same time grow and evolve and balance my life? You have to get extreme in your lifestyle. You have to get extreme in your diet, extreme in your workout habits to change if you got to lose 200, 300 pounds. You start small. You start by just stopping going out to eat. And then incrementally, you cook home more. You, instead of white rice, you use brown rice. Instead of Doritos, you get like veggie chips. And incrementally, you change. But then once you get going, you put your foot in the pedal. But then once you get to weight loss, right, you pull back and you sustain. You hear Dave Ramsey talk about it often, like, when you're on your debt snowball, when you're paying off debt, you go to a lifestyle where you live on bare bones to get to your goal. Then when you get to your goal, you kind of balance back to make it sustainable life and enjoy your life. Life is about balance. Buddha who supposedly went on a journey of many lifestyles. He went on a lifestyle of overindulgence, of depriving himself, of different extremes. And what he found was balance was the key to enlightenment. He was on a journey for enlightenment. We all are to a certain extent. There's a level of balance that's key. There's a level of extreme lifestyle that's needed to get to an extreme goal. So what am I saying here? And then we'll go to all live comments. Well, I'm saying, look, I'm debating tonight, what type of lifestyle do I want to live? I'm not debating, do I want to have gay sex or straight sex? Some people debate that lifestyle. I'm not debating, do I want a family or stay single? I've already decided for me, I'm single. I'm debating, do I want to get planted in a community, no neighbors, be attached to certain things and utilities, or do I want to continue to be a nomad, live free? Yes, but still some risk, stealth parking or bugs at campgrounds, or if I get sick or the coronavirus, what am I going to do? Rent something? There's many ways to do it. Like I said, you could live in an RV, you could live in a tiny home, I guess that's what I'm debating. I'm not at the point where I like the mobile lifestyle. I like the simple life. I really do. There's one thing that I'm glad that I got to experience through the decisions I made to change my life, change my lifestyle. And I did not intentionally start downsizing to live in my vehicle. I just knew I had too much, and I wanted to clear some junk out of my life. And what I've come to learn, is that I love small spaces. I love not being controlled by getting a surprise bill in the mail or seeing a neighbor that, it's like, oh, I don't want to see this person again. I love living independent and simple and very small. I was in a public park today charging my electronics, charging my power pack, working, and I was very inspired. I'm very inspired when I go into Starbucks. I get the free napkins. It sounds like a hobo life. It sounds like, but it's a weird thing. It's very inspiring. I'm more inspired sitting here in my vehicle in one instance, sharing with you tonight, than I was. Well, there's different seasons of your life, but I don't know if I can envision myself now back in a lifestyle where I'm sitting basically in a condo, even if it's an RV lot, RV on an RV lot. I'm sitting in this home base. I'm doing a live feed. Could I envision that? I guess I could, I guess I could, but you got to leave. Every place you live, you have to leave for a couple weeks or a couple months out of the year. Florida has hurricanes. New Jersey has the winter. California has wildfires. Canada has nine months out of the year disaster. Every place requires some bad things, and the nomadic life allowing you to move to mitigate some of those bad things, being a snowbird. That's interesting life, It's interesting lifestyle. And it's hard for me to say I want to abandon that. I could go back to that. But once you get into the conforming life, an apartment or house, it's a thing where it's hard to go back into a car, van, or RV. It really is. Once you go nomad, do you never go back? I don't know. Most nomads I know, they've gone back to a conforming life. And I understand why, and I'm seriously thinking about changing my lifestyle again. But I hit a brick wall of a commitment phobia. I hit a brick wall of lack of freedom, lack of being non-attached. I like being non-attached. So what I want to share now, we're going to go all live comments, is that I'm debating tonight, if we put the finances aside, I'm debating lifestyle. Because your lifestyle, your day in, day out routine, and your mindset creates a life. Life is just a series of days. And that's why be who you are. Like if you want to be gay, you want to be transgender. Look, guys, I got no idea. Some people may be born that way. I don't know. But you should live your life. Okay. You're not hurting. If you want to live in a car, look, it may not be permanent. Live your life. Look, you want to have 5 kids. I always say to me, you got to think about those kids you're forcing into this world, not just you just want a big family. So I always say, look, do what you want as long as it's not hurting someone else. But when you bring another child into this world, you're forcing them in. So that's where I disagree a little bit. But that's my opinion. The freedom to choose. You can control your life a little bit. It's part of your life you can't control. Coronavirus lockdown. Cuomo only wants you to have 4 people. I had a worker today told me that her brother's sick, severely sick with the coronavirus, got a high fever. And the mother can't see the brother because you gotta, once you get sick and you're infectious, you can't see anyone other than the doctors because you have to quarantine. They don't want you to spread it. Now, she even said he's probably going to recover. Most people, 80% or so people recover. Okay. 10 to 20% go in the hospital. 1 to 5% may die. Very infectious disease, not a very killer disease, but they don't want the hospitals to be overrun. Okay. So what I can tell you is this, guys. That's my thoughts tonight. Thank you to all my members. Thank you to all the people who leave the comments. We're going to read them now. I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing your lifestyle with me. Whether you're my man Cameron, who likes to escort lifestyle, whether you're my man Terry, a.k.a. Stretch, working 2 jobs, living in his vehicle, whether you're my man Tony from Canada, I appreciate you all. All right, let's go into your comments, man. Let me know what type of lifestyle you like, what type of lifestyle you dream of. Okay? Terry, hang loose, man. Tony, the ultimate free lifestyle is living in your car in the desert. And pooping in a shopping bag, says Bob Wells. Well, I'll say this, man. I think for Bob Wells, I think he does enjoy it. I think he's inspired. I think, my opinion now, look, will he be doing that forever? Nothing's forever, but now, do I think that a destitute person needs a minivan and to be living in the middle of nowhere and no resources? No, but that's my opinion. I think everyone should have the freedom to choose. I will acknowledge that, look, Bob Wells and other people helped me to know that there is another way. I didn't go full out Bob Wells style, just like I didn't go full out Dave Ramsey style, but he helped me. Just like I didn't go full out my pastor or my father's lifestyle, but certain things, even though I don't agree with other people, they help me. And in life, you have a different fingerprint than everyone else in this world. And so people will help you and guide you to pick a lifestyle, but ultimately you have to choose and continue to change and refine your lifestyle. Like my man Juicy Jeff used to be a world famous YouTuber. Okay. He was living in his Scion vehicle in Idaho, and then he went down to San Diego and back to Idaho. Now he's got a new YouTube name called Disciplined Skater. That's a big change. That's a lifestyle change. You go from Juicy Jeff to Disciplined Skater. But I think that's a good change. Why? Because he's in his 20s. When you're in your 20s and 30s and whatever, it never stops. You never stop changing. But as you get older, look, your energy to change is less. You want to kind of figure out what works for you. I was thinking today, like, look, I don't like a lot of stress. I don't like a lot of liability. I don't like a lot of maintenance. I don't like to clean. I like very low maintenance, low aggravation, and if it gets too bad, I could just dispose of it. Guys and girls, living in my vehicle, you know what type of silverware I like? Free forks from Wawa or whatever. I'm looking at a home base that comes with all the silverware. Would I even use it? I don't know. This actually inspires me. Not real silverware, plastic, disposable. I don't have to worry if it gets dirty, breaks. I don't have to have a matching set. Interesting, man. It very much is. Cameron, happy birthday to you, brother. I appreciate you very much, man. Shout out to Denver. I keep saying Kansas, but I forgot you jumped in your vehicle, changed your lifestyle. Now you're in Denver, brother. Ganja's free. Ganja's legal there. Ryan, what's up, brother? We're going to get to you, man. Terry, every person I meet in person are complaining about finances. That's a big part of your life. Or relationships. Two causes of stress in your life. The number one is relationship. Number one cause of stress, look it up, is relationships. Number two is money. So if you can have healthy relationships or no relationships, and if you can get your money game right, keep a job, do side jobs, get a savings account, pay off your debt, then do whatever you want, you're blessed. And I feel blessed to be where I'm at now. And as I said, how much do I want to change? Because I like this lifestyle. I got a couple hoodies, a couple basketball shorts, and I don't have a lot of luxury. I've had luxury before, but I don't like. I was looking at this one home base, right, where it's got like it's just a fifth wheel travel trailer on an RV lot, not like a luxury house. But I wouldn't even know what to do with a house anymore. I wouldn't even want to be in a house. I don't want to be in a house. I don't want that lifestyle. Even like a travel trailer, mobile home is almost like a house. I don't know, man. But I can tell you this. What I say. This RV has like storage for like clothes, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't have clothes. I got a couple basketball shorts and a duffel bag. I don't know if I ever want to go back to buying like slacks and outfits. I don't want to do that. I feel inspired, like just coming to like I feel comfortable every day. I don't wear underwear. That's a lifestyle. I like that. Let's continue. He goes, I need my space. Me too, brother. So I can sharpen my mind and focus and be aware. Excellent comment. When I get stressed out, I need to be alone. I remember when I had a house, I had a couple girls spend the weekend, good friends, okay? Very thankful for, and I remember I got upset, okay? And all I could tell you is I need my space. I didn't know that at the time. I was still young, trying to figure out my life, okay? And like I say, your brain doesn't fully develop till you're 25. You probably don't know who you are till 35. And the problem is most people wake up at 35, they got 2 kids, they got a mortgage and 2 cars. And that's a lifestyle. Okay? And it's very hard to get out of that. And so I've been spared by the Lord. I never had kids. Okay. And you can't have everything. Like, don't be mad. Sometimes you see like a beautiful couple and you say, man, I wish I was with a beautiful person. We had a nice couple. Yeah, but like they have that, but they don't have something else. Okay. Like, you're a psychopath eating Cheerios out of your van. Yeah. You don't have that, but you got maximum freedom. You do whatever you want. You live a peaceful life. Everyone has something, I know a guy right now doing a kitchen renovation for the second time. He just got done renovating his ex-wife. Then he got divorced. Now he's renovating his new. So what does he have that I don't have? Well, he's a great person, number one, but he's got a lot of material. Okay, he's doing a lot of renovation. I don't like renovation. I don't like renovations. Renovations are a lifestyle, but they keep my man Stretch employed because he works for Home Depot. Terry, aka Stretch, and they eat McDonald's. Fast food will destroy your life. If you say inspirational nomad, I'm a fat bastard. I was obese, so I don't say that judgmentally. I had an aunt that died of obesity. My mom's still obese. Look, guys, I like big people in one sense. I think sometimes they're happier than regular people. But I want you to be healthy. If you can control it. If you can't control it, look, I would still buy you Wendy's on your deathbed because I know that's the only happiness you get. So there's no judgment. But what I'm saying to all my younger people, and guys, try to get your health together before 40. Because after 40, very tough. So if you're really struggling on where to start with your health, don't join Weight Watchers. Don't wait till after the holidays. Because that's a lifestyle decision. If you're going to wait till after the holidays to get your health together, you're on that Weight Watchers lifestyle. You're not trying to change your life. You're on a diet lifestyle. I'm on to change your whole life. Okay. If you change your whole life, and especially this year with the coronavirus, you can't really go like to big group gatherings. So why even eat unhealthy? Now, enjoy yourself. And again, but what season of life are you? Did you just get out of the hospital? Did you just get diagnosed with diabetes? Well, you should be extreme. Okay. Now, look, if you've already lost weight, you changed some habits, and you want to enjoy a little bit of a treat, great. It's like, guys, what season are you in? But there are times you got to get extreme with your lifestyle, and then you can taper back. My man Ryan, appreciate you, brother. Hey, Sam, ever think of jumping in and out of an Airbnb or sublets? They are furnished, not a long-term commitment. Good comment. Yeah, think about it. I have a problem renting. Why? Because one is I don't want to have a landlord. I don't want to be in someone else's space. Like my man Stretch said, I need my space. That's why for me, it's nomad or buy. Why? Because as a nomad, even if I go to a campground, I pay for however many days I'm there. I got all the utilities, and I'm gone. There's no landlord relationship. There's no relationship. There's no commitment. Now, the only time I would probably utilize the Airbnb or if I got sick or hurt, and I think that's when I would get screwed. Now, it's probably still cheaper to do that, to nomad and part-time Airbnb than to own, okay, or buy a big expensive RV. But I see myself doing two things. Only using an Airbnb if I really got sick and if it was more than 2 weeks. Because if it was 2 weeks or less, I would just stay at a hotel. Because the Airbnb is a process too. Like, you got to go through a process. I like quick, easy, in and out, in and out. So for me, I'm faced with two lifestyles. Probably. Either one is I'm going to buy an RV lot with an RV on it. Okay. Which is like almost like a condo, but not really. Or I'm going to keep living in my vehicle for longer. And eventually, as I get older, just buy a fully self-contained RV and never leave the nomadic life. I like the nomadic lifestyle. I do. I have a hard time leaving it. Now, there's sometimes I get frustrated when I get sick and when there's extreme temperature. But, again, someone with a fully self-contained RV, you don't have those problems because you're in a tiny house on wheels. Now, the problem with that is, to utilize that tiny home on wheels, you still need a place to park. Okay. And campgrounds may or may not be desirable. Same thing with RV parks. Same thing with self-camping. But there's no commitment. There's a lot of freedom. And that's what's attractive about the lifestyle. So that's what, like, some people say, like, what's the sales pitch about, not having a home? To me, it's the endless possibilities, okay? You're never going to worry about a hurricane. Why? Because you're never going to be around one. Yeah, you may be in a tropical storm. Yeah, like you may get caught in a couple little bit of, because you can never time the weather perfectly. But you're not going to be in a mass catastrophe normally. Okay, but, when you own property, look, you have to ride out the tough winters. I always share with you guys, I grew up in New Jersey, and believe it or not, Hurricane Sandy a few years back destroyed several homes on the coast. A guy I work with lost his whole house. So you think, well, I'm going to live in New Jersey because I don't want to lose my home to a house in Florida. Well, yeah, guys, look, I know people who live in Florida and never lost their home. I know guys who lived in New Jersey who lost their home to a hurricane. So, you can't live your life like that. That's a disaster. That's that person that says, I'm not going to move to Florida because there's sharks. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's take hydration break. Good comment, Ryan. Thank you again, Stretch. Thank you, Tony and Cameron. Appreciate you, Tony and Cameron. Yeah, guys, look, man, I really like the nomadic lifestyle. That's what I'm trying to say. I like simple. I feel the winds have changed, but I say to myself, do I really need to change? I really only need to change if something happens. Now, the only thing with change, this is what I've learned in life, is that sometimes it's better to proactively change when you don't have to, because then when you have to, everything's already straight. Now, I don't have to buy a house. I don't have to buy a home base. When things change, my flexibility is an asset. The only downside is when you're in an RV, when you're in a car, not in an RV, you don't have a level of stability that they have. And my biggest risk is my lack of stability. I would have to do what Ryan is recommending, that I would have to get hooked up with an Airbnb. And when you're sick or hurting or when you're going through that, do you really want to scramble? Well, look, you never want to scramble. I don't know. I'm just kind of talking out my thoughts because I found that therapeutic and it helps me focus my mind and not to be overwhelmed. Because I replay, what I share with you, and it kind of helps me walk it out in my mind. Ryan, thanks for sharing. Thank you for a comment. All useful insight. Not sure my next move as far as housing. Well, Ryan, if you don't mind me asking, what are you doing now? Are you renting? Do you own? Um, was it scary for me to sell my house and live in my car? No. Why? Because I knew without a shadow of a doubt, I did not want the New Jersey lifestyle. I knew I did not want to live in New Jersey. So that made the decision easy. Okay. So you say inspirational nomad, how do you make a big decision if you don't know? Well, if you know you don't want to live the lifestyle you're living, then the decision is to liquidate. Okay. Liquidate. Now, you may have to repurchase. Okay, you may, but I always tell you, like, one is if you're going to live the nomadic lifestyle, my recommendation is always start in the current car you have. Do it for a year or so, and because most people won't do it that long. And, you know, your flexibility, your savings account, and your lack of buying an RV will help you transition to something else. But again, for me, it was easy because I knew I didn't want to live in New Jersey. I saw how the RV lifestyle could be very expensive and not cost efficient. So I said, why burden myself with that? And so I opted for maximum flexibility based on my age and my metrics. Right. I own my house. Okay. I'm planning on selling, not positive on my next move. I don't want to buy again quickly. Well, two good things you said there. One is, well, I believe, in my opinion, that if you sell your house, you shouldn't buy another house for at least 18 to 24 months, about 2 years. Why? Because it's like a divorce. Buying and selling property is like getting married and divorced. And I don't think you should get divorced and then get wifed up again within 12 months. So, Ryan, my next question to be is, where do you live now? Don't say the exact area, but just say the state. And where do you want to live? Like, you know, if you're, example, again, if you're in New Jersey, you know you don't want to live in New Jersey, then it's a no-brainer, sell your house. Because your time is ticking. Every day, you get closer to death. And death has to be a fire under our ass. Because, like, even today, like, I was tempted not to go into the ocean. It was a little windy. 85 degrees, though, Fahrenheit. And I said to myself, I'll skip on going to the ocean. And I said, hold on, Sam. The whole reason I want to live the lifestyle of Florida is because I want to be fully submersed in the Atlantic Ocean every day I can. I can't tell you how many people buy a beach house and they don't spend adequate time at the beach, in the ocean. You know, it's like they bought the house just to be by the lifestyle, but not to submerge in it. And that's how you miss out on life. That's how you end up with a house on the beach and you're just paying high property insurance, but you never experience the beach that's free. That's an amazing thing. Ryan, I live in Philly, okay? Sounds wild, but I want to live in Spain. It doesn't sound wild. It sounds like what you want to do. And I encourage you to do it responsibly. So keep your job. I don't know. You can share too. Like, I don't know what age you are and what bridge you would need to, you know, because changing jobs is risky. Changing locations is risky, but changing country is very risky. So you got a lot of risk. So when you have a lot of risk, you got to minimize your liability. You got to keep your income and minimize your liability. And again, that's why I said I'm going to sell my house, keep my job, and keep living in my car in New Jersey until I can get a job transfer, build up savings, and not buy again until I'm settled in Florida and I know what part. You got a little bit more risk because you're changing countries, especially in the middle of the pandemic. But it's still the same formula. Mitigate your risk, mitigate your liabilities, keep your job, increase your savings, and be careful on not doing too many crazy investments, right? Because sometimes when you hoard cash, you go too wild on risky investments, and then all's lost. Remember your primary objectives, okay? Which is to relocate to Spain, figure out how you can get a job transfer. Do you know the language? We had a couple viewers from Spain. Have you ever visited Spain? I'm sure Spain has bad parts and good parts. Okay, just like Florida has bad parts and good parts. Ocala, Florida is way different than South Florida. There's parts in Fort Lauderdale that are bad, parts in Fort Lauderdale that are great, parts in West Palm Beach that are bad, parts in Palm Beach that are beautiful. How do you know? You only know by going. And don't commit, so keep your liabilities low. Good comments. Coconuts. Sam, what's up, man? South to Manhattan. Sam, you said north of Broward is nice to live. Palm Beach Yeah, look, Palm Beach County is probably the best county in Florida, in my opinion. Some people like Collar County or Naples, West Coast. I don't like the West Coast of Florida. In my opinion, what's the best county in Florida? Palm Beach County. Okay. That's just north of Broward. But Broward has Boca. No, it doesn't. I think Boca Raton's still in Palm Beach. Let me check that, though. What county is Boca Raton, Florida in? One second, coconuts. Why doesn't it say the county? Hold on, we're gonna get to it, coconuts. I'm almost positive it's in Palm Beach County. Yeah, Boca Raton's in Palm Beach County, brother. Okay, so Palm Beach County for the win. Now Fort Lauderdale, I think, is in Broward County, but Fort Lauderdale to me is not that nice. Fort Lauderdale, right by the beach, is nice, but outside that's too congested. So Fort Lauderdale for the L. I had a psychopath from Canada. He had one property in Fort Lauderdale. He thought he was Donald Trump. Turned out he was Donald Trump, in my opinion. Tesla's up today. Tesla, my man, Challenger, the welder, workhorse, almost up to $30 a share again. Shout out to you. Guys, all the EV stocks skyrocketing. Why? You got Joe Biden, man. He's pro green energy, man. Coconuts. Okay, so Boca and West Palm are nice areas. There's some ghettos in West Palm. Boca is definitely nice. Very nice. There's a couple bad parts in Boca, but Boca overall, excellent choice. West Palm, it depends. It depends what part. So Palm Beach, so overall, if you look around, you'll find some good spots. Ryan, I'm 33, okay, so he's still relatively young. Not middle-aged quite yet. So still younger adult. That's how I classify 33. Because if the average life expectancy is 80, half of that is 40. So if you're 40 years, between 40 to 50 years old, you're middle age. Between 25 to 35, you're a younger adult. Between 65 to 85, you're a senior citizen. Okay, so that's the classification based on average life expectancy. So you're a younger adult, 33. You're a videographer with some other side hustles. I do speak Spanish. Well, that's a thumbs up. If you speak the language in the area you want to live, that's key. I give a lot of credit. I got a couple friends that migrated from Brazil, from Uruguay, and they speak two languages. We tend to look down on people that when they speak English, they have a heavy accent and they don't pronounce everything right. But you got to remember, they know two languages. You only know one. And so bottom line is, if you're going to live in a different country, you got to know the language. At least it's going to make it a lot easier. So you know Spanish, that's good. I've been there. That's another positive. Would stay a while first before settling. You get it, man. Really appreciate the advice, man. You're on fire, Ryan. You're a smart guy. Go after your dreams. Go after them responsibly. It sounds like you are. You're lining everything up right at the right age, too, 33. By the time you're 40, you should be kicking back in Spain, living a life, man. And I think you're on the right track, brother. Coconuts. Palm Beach for the win, no doubt, man. So what I can tell you is, coconuts, man, I want to see you down here because that Tesla stock through the roof. So what I can tell you, brother, you got to get no state income tax. Why? Because you're too wealthy to live in, you ain't got to work. If you ain't got to work, they ain't no, well, yeah, look, what's the state income tax in New York? Probably like 6% in your tax bracket. In New Jersey, I think it was like 5% for people who make under $150,000 a year. New York state income tax. If you don't have to work, you definitely want to live in a state with no income tax. However, you only need to live there for 6 months and 1 day for it to be your home base. New York's income tax rates are 4 to 8%, so it depends how wealthy you are. So anywhere 4 to 8% is high. So if you were a heavy owner, if you were making over $1 million a year, you want to get the hell out of Dodge. If you're making 100,000, 200,000, it's splitting hairs, but it's a lifestyle. Like I say, if you take away all the finances, if you say, look, I'm so rich, it doesn't matter if I pay state income tax, or I'm so poor, it doesn't matter. then you're faced with the ultimate decision, okay? What lifestyle do you want to live? Because there's a different lifestyle, guys. I spent time in New York, in Manhattan. And what I can tell you is a different lifestyle walking the streets of Manhattan, whether pre-coronavirus or during the coronavirus, versus being in Florida. Okay, whole different lifestyle, whole different quality of life, depending on what you want. Okay, so just like I'm sure Ryan, I've been in Philly. I spent a lot of time in Philly. And what I can tell you is this, guys, big difference, okay, between walking the museum steps to see the Rocky statue, and even though the statue's at the bottom of the steps, not even that nice, I was very disappointed in the Rocky statue. There's a big difference between that and walking the streets of Spain, where there's like cobblestone rocks and little cafes and people driving on the opposite side of the road. Big difference. Okay? Big difference. Coconuts. I have to work if I want $1 million house on the water and a Porsche. You're going to have a high insurance property insurance. If I live in a car, I don't need to work. Well, hey, consider an RV. Because remember, mobile is a lifestyle. A mobile home is not mobile lifestyle. Like technically an RV lot with an RV anchored on it is a mobile home, basically. And that's what I've been debating. Like, beyond the money, if I could just say, look, my monthly budget's going to be the same, what I'm debating now is, what lifestyle do I want? Okay. Do I want a lifestyle knowing that when August and September comes, I'm going up north and I don't have to worry about anything down here. I'm not attached to anything. Every time I start my car, I'm as free as a bird. However, again, if I get sick or if I need time to rest or I get weary of being in the public, I have no sanctuary. So the middle ground, if you want to keep the mobile lifestyle, but you want some peace and security, look, is to have a fully self-contained RV. Okay. Whether it's a small little travel trailer, because a motorhome, very hard to justify that. I know you got some people living in a Class C. I have my man upscale living in that. Milano's living in one down in a park. He doesn't move much. So, look, it's possible. But it all depends how you want to move. Like, right? Like, do you want to go to campgrounds? Do you want to go to truck stops? Have you found one part of the town where no one bothers you? Does that even attract you? Some people say, I don't want to live that lifestyle. I want to be in my condo. I want to be in my house. I want to be able to work. So, I want you to think about in life, once you've figured out the money, because you got to figure out the money, then I want you to figure out the lifestyle you want to live. Because that's your quality of life. And that's your day in, day out routine. And that's what makes your life. You know what I mean? No doubt. Coconuts. Seems like a simple life is the best life. Coconuts, that's fire emoji. Because that's what I come back to. I say, Sam, am I making my life more complicated? $5 super chat. Bryce Green. Could the nomad life be another addiction? I'm 29, been on this lifestyle a month, and I find myself feeling elated and communicating with family less. Well, shout out to you, Bryce. Thank you for that tip. Congratulations on your 1 month anniversary. Look, 29, yeah, well, it's a good question. Is the nomadic lifestyle addictive? Yes. Is it sustainable? Not for most people. So there's an adrenaline rush for living as a nomad. Now you've been doing it for a month. It comes with fear. It comes with instability. And that's what makes it unsustainable. So like the odds are, I'm not saying what's going to happen, Bryce, because only you determine your future. You and the grace of God. But Bryce, the odds are that in 9 months, you will not be living this lifestyle. Just like the odds were for me. When I started living in my car 1 month in, the odds were that in 9 months, I won't be living in there. But it's been 4 years now. 99% of society live in an apartment or house. 1%, less than 1% are homeless. Half of the homeless people live in vehicles, whether RVs or cars. So a half of 1% of people live full-time as a nomad, long-term. But to your point, the adrenaline, like you don't get an adrenaline rush going to your refrigerator and getting water. You get an adrenaline rush going to Starbucks, getting your Trenta ice water for free. You broadcasting live from the streets, you go to Planet Fitness. The world is your oyster. Like ESP, she's probably watching from her Airbnb, bored out of her mind. Yeah, she got climate control, but there was something exciting about being in the NV200. Because she lives in Alaska out of her vehicle. But, like most people, after a certain period of time, she had to go back in Airbnb. Why? Winters in Alaska, disaster. So, the summers in Florida, hurricane season, disaster. The winters in New Jersey, disaster. Winters in Alaska, disaster. The only way you escape the disaster is if you're mobile. That's a lifestyle. It comes with a price. The addiction comes with a price. What's the price? Well, look, you're going to be disconnected from family, friends, and society to a higher degree. Why? Because you're living a different lifestyle than your family and friends. You know? Stretch says, I'm 2 months into nomad life. Well, let's sing Tony, Tony, Tony. It's our anniversary. When tomorrow it comes. It's our anniversary. Damn, I forgot the words. It's our anniversary. Remember Tony, Tony, Tony? That's a good song. What I could tell you is this. Stretch, a.k.a. Terry, maybe like you, Bryce, he works 2 jobs. He works at Planet Fitness and Home Depot. Okay. And I do recommend that you don't tell people you work with, most of them, at least initially, that you live in your vehicle. Why? Not many people can understand the lifestyle. Guys, I wouldn't understand it if you would have told me 20 years ago. So you have to be fair. And so I'm getting to the point that Bryce kind of made that, look, your coworkers, your friends, your family, they don't understand your lifestyle. Just like certain people experience, like when being gay was very taboo. Like certain people experience, like when getting divorced was very taboo. Like people take for granted now, like, you know, you get a divorce and you get, no one thinks twice of it. 40 years ago, when you got a divorce, you were looked at crazy. That's why like your grandparents stayed together and they hate each other. Like when you would have a child and not be married, that was a lifestyle that was so unacceptable. Ryan, $2.99 super chat. Agreed, all caps. Rocky statue's overrated. I agree. I love Rocky. Great movie, great guy. Okay. Rocky went bankrupt. Sylvester Stallone, but he re-upped. If you go bankrupt, if you're in debt, you can get out of debt. You can reclaim your glory. Simplify your life. Simplify your life. Guys, if you, like my man Stress, he making $18 an hour Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness hiring down here in Florida like crazy. If you're single with no kids, if you work a job, basic, and you can do DoorDash, you make $20 an hour. I'm not going to say you're going to live this great life, but you're going to take care of all your needs. Okay, and you're going to go forward. Now, again, for the younger people, you know, try to focus on some career industry. But like I say, if you show up every day, guys, why can't you eventually, if you wanted to, become the regional director of Planet Fitness? Okay. Why couldn't you become, you know, the head of the electrical department in Home Depot? Why couldn't you become a logistics coordinator? You know, a big part of our life, we put walls up. And if you're going to fail going forward. Don't fail going backwards. Don't go back to someone who made you feel insecure, and don't settle for a job that's below your potential. If you're gonna get fired, get fired from a good paying job. If you're gonna get laid off from a good paying job. Never quit. Gangster Talk, $3 super chat. Having a different baby's daddy was unacceptable. You damn right. Good comment, Gangster Talk. Guys and girls, like, we live in 2020. Yes, the coronavirus was a disaster. Yes, it's a real threat in society. But guys and girls, I always tell you, I've made the point consistently for the past 8 months in the United States that we've been dealing with the coronavirus. Thank God for 2020. Why? It's still better than 1970. If you had a choice to be born to be the age you are now in 1970 or 2020, if I took you back in time, like Back to the Future, you'd say, "Oh, inspirational nomad, take me back to 2020." Take me back to 2020, where our biggest hardship was not getting drafted to Vietnam. It wasn't fighting for our civil rights. It wasn't, oh my God, you know, I got someone pregnant, now I got to marry them and be with them for 30 years. Your biggest burden in 2020 is you have to do carry out at Starbucks. Okay. So guys, you can DoorDash and make $20 an hour and never have a manager. Okay. You could work at Planet Fitness and make $18 an hour, live in your car and be at Palm Beach every day. No one judge you. I know a guy right now working at Starbucks. He got eyeliner on. He got tight pants riding up to acid crack. He's gay and proud of it. That was you couldn't do that you couldn't do that in 1970. Guys, that was unacceptable. 2020, guys, you can come to work with a dildo on your head. No one cares. Praise the Lord for 2020. It's a lifestyle. Coconut stop the mic emoji. Damn it, thank you, brother. You get me, man. Thank you, Gangster Talk. Thank you, Ryan, very much, man. Thank you, Bryce. Terry, you're sharing some good stuff. You know, I see you, Tony, longtime supporter, man. Cameron, thank you all. Appreciation. I see you, and I recognize the length of your support, understanding me, connecting for a season of our life. And look, guys, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I sit here barking at my phone in a parking lot, but I feel inspired. I said to myself, too, because I was thinking about, like, I have a home base. I'm visualizing myself. You have to visualize what you're going to do next. Like Ryan was talking about, he's trying to visualize, like, him in Spain. So, like, what I've been doing this past week, I've been driving around at different times of the day to see, like, the home base. Then at night, I'm sitting there and say, like, right now, instead of being in this park, I would be broadcasting from my home base. Could I see myself doing that? I'm trying to visualize that lifestyle. Or I have to be a little bit quieter. Why? Because I got neighbors now. Okay. Like, sure, like someone can hear me now, and once in a while someone hears me, like, what the hell is that guy talking about? But guys, I'm not committed to them. I start my car, leave, they'll never see me again. You know, like, God forbid, like, I have an issue at Planet Fitness. Guys, you know how many Planet Fitness there are in Florida? I go to another one. But when you live in one area, you can't, like, you know, make that type of, like, free decision. You know, there's more Starbucks, there's more Planet Fitnesses, but once you live in one area, you know, you got to kind of like be around that area. It's a lifestyle. Not a bad lifestyle, because I'm thinking about it. I'm a little bit, you know, like, am I living as good as it gets? You know, I got to add some stability, though. I feel that. I want to keep a regular vehicle. Why? Because I want the option of DoorDash. You know, the only other thing I see me doing is a small little travel trailer. Okay. But I got to have a place to park it. So then I said to myself, yeah, I could probably do campgrounds cheaper. It's cheaper to pay as you go than to pay all up front, at least for the first couple years. A home base pays off if you get past a few years, okay, and you're able to keep a job, keep your income, keep your budget. If you keep your job, if you buy a home base, if you have a disciplined budget, after 2-3 years, then, unless the economy totally does a U-turn, usually that's when having a home base, it's a long-term play. But that's a couple hurricane seasons, okay? You know, a lot changes in a couple years. Think about 2 years ago. Think about 2018. Donald Trump was the greatest president ever, okay? There was no such thing as the coronavirus, okay? Everyone was going crazy. Now, Donald Trump probably the worst president ever, okay? Coronavirus changed the world, okay? And every 2 years changed a lot. Whole lifestyle changed, okay? So, you know, you went 2 years ago, your lifestyle, what was Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving was you get your ugly Christmas sweater out because you want to wear it early. You go to your ungrateful relative's house. Everyone eats unhealthy food, and they say, as soon as after Christmas, as soon as after New Year's, I'm going to get my health together, okay? Then they go eat a bunch of pumpkin pie. Now, guys, you're going to be quarantined, ordering DoorDash, watching me go live from a gas station on Thanksgiving. Why? Because in 2 years, the lifestyle of society changed. And look, I think with technology and modern era, changes are coming quicker, which is a good thing. I'd rather live in 2020 than 1940. Never forget it. But I think about, am I positioned well for a 40-year-old man? No debt. This 2020, in one sense, was a big year for me. I got out of debt. Okay. First time ever in my adult life, I got no debt. I still got expenses, but I told you my expenses. Between $1,000 and $1,500 a month, based on how I want to live. And I could probably do the same thing with a home base, but there's an upfront cost. So my thoughts tonight are, think about not just the money, think about the money, think about the lifestyle you want. And visualize your day in and day out routine when you commit to something, whether it's a person, whether it's having a child, whether it's having a home base, whether it's changing countries. You're going to change your lifestyle, and sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I wanted to say this last night, I forgot. I hope you guys hear this one. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. We don't always make the right decisions. And it's better to accept and to be willing to fail and figure it out as you go than to be trigger shy your whole life. Robert Morales, evening everyone. Damn it, Robert. Thank you for that $5 super chat, man. I appreciate that, Robert. Great to see you, brother. Hello to you, man. We got some positive people in here. Appreciate you, Robert. Thank you, man. Terry, entanglements kill my soul. Terry, man. AKA Stretch, me and you on the same vibe, man. We on the same wavelength, man. I thought about that, man. I give the advice, man, sometimes, like if you got high anxiety, if you got OCD, which at different times in my life, like I said, when I was younger, I didn't have an extreme case, but I would have to touch some things. I had some rituals, which is a level of OCD. I get anxiety with commitment. I get anxiety. Like just thinking about putting an offer in on a home base, I'm not going to lie to you, I get anxiety. And I say to myself, is this the lifestyle I want? So then I say to myself, well, look back at your life. Think about when I bought my initial house. At 22, I moved out of my mom's house. And with the help of my mom and in certain ways. So I don't want to say that, look, you never become independent by yourself. Other people help you, but you have to help yourself. I worked, I did what I needed to do. It's a two-way street. But I remember at 22, I was just as scared and apprehensive to buy a house. But I'm glad I did push past that fear, because there were times where I enjoyed the house, and I think there is a tremendous amount of dignity to moving out of your parents' house if you have the physical and mental ability to do so. And I recognize that some people don't. I also recognize that maybe you get older, middle-aged, and you move back in with your parents for whatever reason, divorce, or you're going to take care of your parents. So again, don't take this as a judgmental thing, but for a season of your life, I do think it's important that you go live on your own, okay, if you have the ability to. Because I never think you'll figure out who you are as a person until you do that. I don't. Because there's a different way of life when you do for yourself. It is. Different lifestyle. There's a different lifestyle when, you see what your mom's cooking versus you have to go out there and get some food. Okay. But Ryan says, hello, Roberto. Yes, thank you, Roberto. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you again, Gangster Talk. Thank you, Ryan. And thank you, Bryce. Coconuts, I love you. Tony, I still see you. And Cameron, I see you. Thank you to all my supporters. Yeah, Coconut says, what do I mean by trigger shy? Well, trigger shy is, look, you never commit to anything. You never buy a stock. You never buy Tesla. You never day trade. You never buy a house. You never date. You have to do and fail. You have to do and fail. Your best life requires failure. It requires pulling the trigger, not literally with a gun per se, but it requires doing something and failing. If you don't, like guys, Elon Musk, if he was trigger shy with everything, he would never be Elon Musk. And anyone important. However, what you try to do is get progressively better. Because if you're quick on the trigger, if you got a quick trigger finger, then you're going to be making rash decisions that eventually put so much failure in your life that it's too hard to recover. So it's good to fail when you're young. It's good to take new jobs when you're young. It's good to, and as you get older, stabilize your life and, figure it out. But you're never too old to fail, and you're never too old to refine your failure, to learn from your mistakes and to grow and evolve. And so as a middle-aged man now, I'm trying to understand from my past life experience that I'm glad I pulled the trigger on certain investments, on certain choices in my life, even though they failed, because they taught me a lot. Now, I'm not quick on the trigger. However, I'm not scared to pull the trigger. Okay. And this is a figurative thing, not literal, but you know what I mean. Because you got to strike that balance where you got to hit it, but you got to mitigate risk. You got to take risk, but you have to also, in other areas of your life, stabilize so you can endure failure. You're going to fail no matter what. That's why I tell you, if you're going to invest, get a savings account separate than your checking, separate than your brokerage. Pay down your debt, and then play with a certain amount of money that you allocated. Why? Because you've mitigated risk. Even if you lose all your money in your brokerage account, you still have a savings account, you have no debt, and you have an income. Okay. So, like you say, inspirational nomad, I want to become a nomad. Well, I would tell you this, keep your job, sell your house, okay, and then figure it out. Worst case scenario, you go back into an apartment or house, and you still kept your job, and you still kept going. You didn't make heavy commitments. Edith! $10 super sticker super chat number one fan. Damn it, Edith. Thank you for that gracious super chat all the way from the Pacific Northwest. Used to be formerly of Vero Beach. Love to you, love to your son. I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud that you did. See, Edith did what she needed to do to separate from toxic family and toxic friends. And I want to apologize. There was a viewer that came in here months ago, and they were asking me about how to get out of a toxic situation. I was a little short with them. But how do you get out of a toxic situation? You separate. And the only way to separate is you got to do for yourself. You got to move out. Okay. You know, someone had left a comment, good viewer, I don't look, but they left a comment that they had got put out of their house or kicked out, and they felt it was unjust. And I don't know the situation because there's always two sides of a story. But what I told them was, look, you may be right, but when you live in someone else's house, it's their rules. And even if they're unjust rules, that's the way it is. Now, I've met some beautiful people that have a mental handicap on YouTube. And I think they're great people, hardworking, and I think they're beautiful. And I understand that they don't have the ability to live on their own. I don't look down on them. Okay. But I also have to speak up that if you have the ability, do for yourself. Okay. And even if you have a disability, do as best you can. Okay. Do a coloring book. Do something, whatever you can. Okay. Do for yourself. So, like I say, Edith, she's separated from toxic family. Ryan's talking about he's scared, and rightfully so, because he's thinking he wants to go to Spain. He wants to change countries. Edith moved from Florida to Pacific Northwest. She went from the opposite side of the country. That's distance-wise, that's probably the same as going from New York to Spain. That had to be scary. Okay, that's why I give respect to all my friends I know that they migrated from another country. It's scary. But it's necessary if that's your desire. If you have a desire, there's a reason. It's not by accident. People say, why don't you go out west? I don't have a desire. They say, why don't you get wifed up? I don't have a desire. You got to have a desire. Then once you have to have a desire, you have to do the research, mitigate your risk, and then take a risk. Calculate a risk. Thank you again, Edith. Coconut says, let me go back. Ryan says, it's true. Failure also keeps you humble. 100 emoji. Excellent. I saw myself, and I can still see myself if I don't catch myself, that when you do good and when you win and when you're successful, you get arrogant. It's not that you're trying to be bad necessarily. It's what life is. Okay. And when you get knocked on your ass, whether you lose money, you lose your health, because guys, when I was in the emergency room, that'll humble you. When I lost money, that'll humble you. And that's okay. It's okay to fail. Allow yourself to fail. If you're too tight ass and you refuse to fail, you fail by default. You fail by not doing, you fail. Now, as you get older, you try to learn from your failure, stay humble, but stay confident. There's a difference between being humble and being timid. There's a scripture in the Bible, I like this one, not religious, it's a very simple scripture. It says that God didn't give you a spirit of being timid, but of being strong and confident, of sound mind, bold. So you can be bold, confident, and have a sound mind without being timid. However, you should be humble. Humbleness does not mean you're timid. It just means that you failed and you recognize that you failed. And so you're willing to listen. You're willing to be firm enough to say, look, that's not what I do. But you realize that you don't have all the answers for everyone. And even for yourself, you're still figuring it out. You're always still figuring it out. Okay. It's a tough balance, okay, to figure that out. But it's good to remember to stay humble, okay? Even if we miss the mark. Because, guys, we don't always eat a 2,000 calorie day. Sometimes we have 4,000 calories, okay? But it's good to have a goal to try to keep around 2,000 calories. Because, guys, I've been obese, and when you're obese, you're not even counting calories. You're not counting anything. You're eating until you're stuffed. See, I don't know if you guys know what it is to be obese, but you eat till you're stuffed. Okay? Till you got acid reflux, till you're burping up General Tso's chicken. You eat till you go to sleep. Okay? When you're anorexic, you are so particular on how many calories you eat, you're scared to eat anything because you're scared to gain weight. I've been both. When you're balanced, you're conscious of the food label and the calorie and the fat and the sugar intake, but you're not anal retentant. You have learned to accept some fluctuation while still keeping an overall goal. Okay. And that's a lifestyle. All different lifestyles that I've explained. Being obese is a lifestyle. Eating until you go to sleep is a lifestyle. Counting every calorie and being scared to have any treats is a lifestyle. Anorexia. And having an overall healthy, sustainable lifestyle, whether it's plant-based or just not a lot of junk and very much a routine with occasional treats and a little bit of indulgence, that's a lifestyle. Living in your vehicle, lifestyle. Living in an apartment, lifestyle. Lifestyle choices. That's what we talked about tonight. I hope it helped you, spurred something in your mind. I want to thank you. Gratitude to every member that came in here. Love to you. Edith, thank you. Coconuts, thank you. Ryan, thank you. Stretch, thank you. Terry. Robert, thank you. Gangster Talk, thank you. Bryce, thank you. Cameron, thank you. And Tony, thank you. Thank you to everyone. Keep pushing forward in your life one day at a time, one step at a time. Don't be scared to fail. We don't always make the right decisions. Try to progressively get better. Forward.